All right, I need help, and I'm gonna get to the point why I need help, and I'm gonna tell you my real story without sharing all the details, I guess. So I grew up in South Asia. When I was a child, I was born in Karachi, Pakistan, and I'm not saying this to make any region look bad. I have friends in all different parts of the world. That's obviously not my intention, but I saw images like this often, and I saw this in different parts of the city where I grew up. When I lived in Saudi Arabia, because my dad worked in an airline, so I would spend some summers in Saudi Arabia. I did not see this there because GDP per capita is pretty high in Saudi Arabia, and it's a rich country, and it has been a rich country. But in Pakistan, I saw this, and one time, if not just once, I saw people, Afghani kids, eating from the trash. I literally saw that with my own eyes. Kids, these are images are Creative Commons, so I can just share this. It was a basically what happens is there's in the 90s, mid 80s, early 80s to mid 90s when I was there, the garbage, unless you're living in the affluent part of the city, which is probably 5 to 10% of the overall population, or something in that range. The other 80 90%, there's not a clear garbage disposal system. It kind of works, but what happens is there's a cement based, uh, like a structure. So let me see if I can find an image. Basically, it's a cement block. It's like a 3 meter by 3 meter cube, or like 3 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters, something like that. Thing made out of cement, and one side is open. So people bring their garbage bags in plastic and just dump it there, and then the municipal trash picking folks come in and pick the trash and put it in the truck and take it from there. But I literally, with my own eyes, have seen Afghani refugee kids eat trash from, like something like this. It may be a piece of rotten fruit. Looks like there's some rotten fruit here, and I saw kids eating this. I saw other things as well, which didn't sit with me very well, but uh, uh, I'm not going to get into those details right now because I saw other things as well. And I made when I had a blog post on my previous website, I made a blog post about this kid named Jamil who had blue eyes, and it's nothing to do with eyes or anything like that. But the kid was always smiling, and he was the son of a janitor, and the kids were not nice to him because he was the son of a janitor. It wasn't that the kids were mean to him; they just didn't make that kid feel accepted. And Jamil would drive his dad's bicycle, and the bicycle was obviously too big for him. So what he used to do is he used to put his right leg through the middle of that middle portion of the bicycle and hold the handles like this, and he used to somehow ride that bicycle. So I still remember Jamil, and I wonder what Jamil is doing right now because he's going to be the same age as me. I've had a very affluent life. I can't say my life has been comfortable in the different phases, but I've never had to worry about food, even to this day. Being an entrepreneur, I do have to make some tough choices. There have been days where I've had to eat bad fruit, ugly fruit. It's not near anywhere close to dumpster diving. This is like the bad kind of, really bad kind of dumpster diving. So this is appalling. This should not happen on any planet, any reality. So my situation, luckily, so far, has not been this bad. But to save costs, I need to eat food, and I can't eat rice and beans all the time. So it has become common for me to eat from the ugly section of the grocery store. I'm not making this up. I often go to the ugly section, and I have to put everything like my pride and all these things on the side because I need to eat food. And that's the section I can afford to buy food from. I haven't gone to the food bank just yet. But I'm not saying this to gain sympathy. I'm just stating the facts. And I never thought that, like I'm just thinking about this a lot more. So I'm glad that from an early age, I've at least known somewhere deep inside my psyche, some people say heart, that this is wrong. And we need to we need to fix this. This needs to change. So this is where I am at right now. So sometimes they are not as blemished. Sometimes there's stuff growing on it, but I've made a commitment to myself not to do that because it's not good for you. I definitely don't feed this food to my child. Uh, so when it comes to my child, I get the stuff from the regular portion of the grocery store. So I'm not going to get into a longer thing here, but I believe that we can do better. And this is why we have this dream. Our dream is, my vision is that there is going to be a global grid distributed as it may be, that there's going to be a global transportation network. And I envision trains, not like the trains we have right now, but maybe like a hyperloop or a little bit futuristic, maybe uh, going back to the visions of uh, Eric Lightweight, maglev trains, something. But anyways, to come to the vision, my vision is that we're growing food in space sustainably at that. We're bringing it to Earth sustainably and at a price point that is affordable for all of the human beings, not just half of the human population, not the few, nothing like that. And this is not about growing pineapples in the middle of the winter. This is about fixing what is wrong. I don't want to eat trash. I don't want anyone to eat trash. I don't care wherever they are, wherever they're from. No one should eat from the trash. This is the problem in our system, in our global system right now. Uh, I don't want to get into the longer thing. I just don't think this is. I don't think this should be tolerated. So this is what we want to do. We want to fix this problem, and I need help. I don't. I have a finite amount of money. We're gonna run out of money within 5 months. We don't have a customer right now because our dream is too big, and uh, we don't have the funding right now. We don't have a sales engine. We don't have customers lined up, and things are difficult. Things are difficult uh, on a personal level because I've put everything in my company, and I've been doing this for 6 years now. I had $80,000. I invested it all in my previous companies. I had $100,000, but I had a divorce, and divorce it was expensive. So I had like $75,000. I invested it all into my previous companies and into my education. And I ran out of money 2 years ago, and that was not a good time. So I joined Amazon. And anyway, and more recently, I've been taking the CERB from the government of Canada. Uh, if it wasn't for CERB, I would be doing, I don't know what I would be doing. I don't want to work a desk job. I have done that. I did a very good job, and I don't want to go back to that because I just don't want to do that. I don't think doing a desk job is going to help me solve these problems. So I need help. I really need help right now, and I'm not good at asking. I don't think I'm good at asking for help. I don't know what is it. Is I don't know, something in my psyche or maybe some ego issues. But at this point, I really need help because I'm at my ends. and I don't want to run out of money 4 months, 5 months down the road, and having to let people go. This is my team. Oops, and things open in the background. And this is my team, right? So this is my core team right now. We also have Enda on the team. I don't know what's going on with Enda. I made an offer for him to join full time, but he wants to finish his degree. I'm not going to get into the specifics here. So, you know, we're I'll just leave it at that. So anyone is welcome to connect with Lucid and Enda both and form your own opinions after talking to both of them. We have potentially a fourth candidate who is going to join us as a project manager, and that individual may have to go on mat or pat leave. I can't share their gender in some time, so I want to be in a position to be able to have to enable parental leave. It should be a paid. Um, just because you have a child doesn't mean you're not going to be like. So I want to enable that structure so that my team is really well taken care of. So I need help right now. We need help. I'm also very open to feedback with regards to what we should or should not be doing. And this is our dream to to grow food in the O'Neill structures, to grow food on Venus. And I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But first, I want to share what we've done to date, and this is a snapshot of what we've done. This is primarily Ruset's work, so I don't want to take credit. I want to give credit actually where it's due. This is entirely, I would say 90% of this is Ruset's work. I just come in from the perspective of here's what you can start with. And I enable the time, I enable the space, which is the availability of time, and also the freedom to make mistakes, to try and make things. So that's what I've been nurturing and guiding Ruset to do. And we started with a general review. We didn't know anything about building rockets. I still don't. But in our simulations, we can get to a certain level now. We're not breaking through and getting into orbit, but it's not 20 meters, it's not 200 meters, it's a lot more than that, right? But uh, it's not 10,000 meters either. So our vision is to, I don't think we're going to go into the propulsion system per se, but all the propulsion based companies we've reached out to, and it hasn't been 10 because I have a thing here, right? And one of the things I added recently is that whatever you're trying, you've got to make 10 really, really, really solid attempts at what you're trying to do. So we haven't reached out to 10 companies, and we haven't reached out to each one of them 10 times, and we haven't done a really good job at that. We haven't done a good job at asking. But we reached out to the propulsion-based company that you hear about in the news, and I was just trying to understand what is it going to take to get a certain amount of material into a certain part in the solar system by a certain time. And I didn't hear back. So, anyways, I don't want to focus on that. Um, so we said, screw it. We're going to make our own rockets. Okay. So this is where we are right now. And this is less than 100 hours of work, purely Lucid. One engineer, less than 100 hours since March, late March, so April, May, 2.5 months of work. And this is not the only thing we're doing, but this is about 100 hours of work. And this is not a complete synthesis. We're not going to share the complete work because of security considerations. We have to edit a lot of this out as well. And I don't even know if I should share all of this. But we started with simple simulations. This is our work, by the way. We started with something really bare bones. And then we started creating our own components. So first of all, just learning how, simple parts of the nozzle are going to work. And then Innovation is something different that has an impact. So Lucid actually took the ownership here, and then you kind of add to that design. I'm not gonna play all the simulations. We started working on the schematics. I personally don't know how this works because we haven't done that. We haven't done the deep dive, but it's not it's this is the this is the system which controls uh, the different components of what it takes to get the rocket propulsion going. So it's the initiation, it's the different stages kicking in, it's the controls, and it's taking to a certain altitude. So this is basically the thing in the background from an electrical perspective that drives the whole thing. Then Russet now is running the simulations in computational fluid dynamics from the perspective of thrust and simulating uh, like when it comes to the nozzle firing, how is that really going to work? So we have some work on the simulation side of things, guidance, navigation, control system, like I was saying. Um, so we have to censor some stuff out. Now we have a model rocket, and it's here. So like I said, it's not 10,000 meters. So this is the altitude we've been able to hit with a payload of just 1 kilogram. And we should try a bunch of different things in order to be able to bring it back safely. So just adding one parachute or two, and adding one booster, two-stage boosters, things like that. This is the orbital trajectory. Uh, I don't have a firm grasp of what happened here, so I'm not going to talk about this just in terms of 100% honesty. But yeah, I think I'll have to do this again with Lucid. So yeah, there's more stuff we learned than we took it to. I won't share with software, so like a bit more on the simulation side of things. So this is the flow for the nozzle. So you basically have air coming in from this section, and it's burn happens somewhere here, and then it's forced out. And this is to simulate how this component of the nozzle is going to retain, how the whole flow is going to work and how the heat's going to be displaced. So that's just to simulate that. So this is the work we've done so far when it comes to simulating on the rocket propulsion side of things, and we call this RPR for that reason, Rocket Propulsion Resources, and AMU stands for Autonomous Manufacturing Units. So this is not our image. This should really be in a slide-based format, but I didn't think I was going to do this today. But anyway, so this is the vision. It's not going to be like this. This is not my image, by the way. It's from a book. But we found this on the Creative Commons image site from Google search, and the vision really is to have an autonomous manufacturing unit or a series of them in particular geographies or particular points across the solar system. Not necessarily not in Earth's orbit. Well, it depends where are we talking about. But I'm not thinking. I'm definitely thinking Venus. So what the goal is to put a cluster of these in particular geographies, like I said, and they will have multi-purposes. So one of them will have so this is a little out. The ideas then kind of come in from the perspective of what will they do. Other problems have to be solved before that. The price point, and I've made blog posts about that. And what kind of time frame we're looking at? We're looking at a fraction of a penny per pound to send stuff in orbit. So this is not going to. I would be very surprised if this is implemented within the next 5 years. But we're really looking at fractions of a penny per pound to send 1 pound of weight in space. Right now, last time I looked, which is a couple of years, and I don't know if we have updated numbers. I haven't had to run the updated numbers, but I believe it's anywhere from $1,600 US to $2,000 US. I think it's $1,600 and less right now. It could be lesser per pound or per kilogram. I always mix them up. I'm used to saying pound living in Canada. I think it's per pound. I could be wrong. So yeah, that's not the price point at which we can look at these kind of constructs take on. But the units, the AMUs, are going to be for different purposes. Some are going to be solely dedicated for the purpose of sequestering carbon from Venus's atmosphere. Some are going to be specifically designed to manufacture things, as the name entails, AMUs. So these are going to be autonomous factories that churn out or create one version of a particular component that we need to send into the atmosphere, or a whole bunch of them, or maybe it could be redesigned to create a couple of different constructs or inventions, because the environment that the things that being made is going to be sent into is really harsh. So the thing kind of goes on from there, because like if we look at Venus, not everything in the entire planet is 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not everything is everywhere is boiling. Yes, it's a harsh environment. Yes, there's sulfuric acid, but we need to also keep into consideration that we are seeing massive exponential growth in a variety of different areas. And it's not a wish, but we want to time it to a point whereby there has been uh, that exponential growth on the side of materials, so that we have materials in within 10 years that can not just withstand the temperatures, but also are resistant to sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid primarily, because the AMUs will deliver constructs, for lack of a better word, that are going to initially operate in the 55-kilometer range from the surface of Venus, where the temperature right now is a little bit more than the temperature outside my window right now. It's around 18 degrees Celsius, and 55 kilometers up, the temperature in the atmosphere of Venus is 27 degrees Celsius. In fact, actually, if you go a little higher, then the temperature drops. So that's where we wanna. That's our beachhead strategy, if you may, to enable these AMUs in the orbit of Venus primarily, and then go from there. The other AMUs, depending on how materials evolve and other ideas kick in. Some of the ideas are really simple on paper, is to basically suspend straws, equivalent of straws. It's not going to be the straw that I use on a daily basis, but we're talking scale. It's a different scale. It's a scale on the scale of something that may, to us right now, may seem like mega engineering. But you basically suspend straws from the AMUs, and you have a series of subconstructs, able to just start rechanneling the carbon. And because the concentration of carbon dioxide is so high in the atmosphere of Venus, then kind of go from there. So other ideas kick in from there, but this is the primary idea. The other idea is that outside of focusing on just the naturally occurring planets, we also want to be ready for the reality. It's a timing thing. A lot of like Bill Gross would say, a lot of things startups and entrepreneurship come down to timing. So we want to be ready for that price point, because you have to consider the economics. So when the technologies are ready, which we have to map, which I've been mapping in an unofficial format, and the price point is right, then there's nothing stopping us from enabling O'Neill structures and Stanford toruses. And we want to be ready for that time. And I believe right now it's just me and Rusev primarily, and hopefully Enda makes a decision so we get to hear from him. And we're talking to the fourth individual that we're going to be onboarding soon. But I truly believe that we have the beginning of something amazing here. I want Ryan to join the team as well. Ryan Zernak. I would be my absolute honor to welcome Ryan to the team. Okay, um, I love Ryan. I love working with him. I truly believe that Ryan is the global leader for systems change, and I believe he's got a heart of gold. And Ryan is one of the nicest people I've met in my professional career. He is adept. He is disciplined. He is, wow, what a nice guy, man. He's kind. He's polite. He's got a global outlook. And he's still in his 20s and thinking about sustainability, how to fix these problems like of energy and food. And if you go to his website, zernach.com, zernach.com, I'm just like, yeah, I would, Ryan, if you're watching this, man, please join the team. We're gonna raise around. We're gonna put a proper structure in place. We're gonna go do the incorporation, and a Canadian and an American. We're gonna have our head offices. We're gonna go where the opportunities. We're gonna put the tenders out. So we'll see where the I don't know where it's gonna be. Maybe it's North Africa in random, or maybe it's in France. Maybe it is Canadian. Maybe it's Buffalo, New York. I don't know where maybe it's truly global and distributed, because that's how the team is emerging right now, right? Maybe it's in Sri Lanka, right? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, please join. So this is a little aside, because I've made the offer to Ryan in the past, and the idea was at its infancy at that point. This is like going back last summer. Since then, we've done a little work. Let's be honest, and this is where we are at right now. So ideas like this, it's hard to. I don't want to say anything, right? Because I haven't spoken to a ton of people. Like, we put content out, we share all of our work freely, to the best of our abilities. We also have to. We don't take. We don't. Yeah. How do I say this? Let's just put it this way: we take security seriously, and we are going to be working with all of the NATO governments and militaries transparently. So everything that we do is completely visible to the free and fair part of the world. And I don't know how the agreement with the allies work, so maybe that as well. So this is an opportunity in the domain of trillions of dollars. So I don't know how to spend that money. In terms of radical honesty, you do have these thoughts of like these thoughts. Maybe they're influenced, but the concept of power and uh, like I don't know how things are going to evolve in the future. I perceive my time as kind of being limited, and I just want to leave a better world for my child. In fact, if you ask me what my personal dream is, I want to right this wrong. I really believe we have the means and ability to be able to do what I just shared with you. Whether we do it in the deserts, whether we do it on Venus, whether we do it in O'Neill colonies or somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe we blow a bubble in the ocean and do farming there sustainably. I don't know how it's going to be done. It'll be all of them and more. That's what I want to work on. That's what I want to work on. Right? There are things I'm good at. I think I'm good at aviation. I could be wrong. I want to be challenged. I believe in my team. I do everything in my capacity to be able to assist my team. Right? So sometimes, yes, I'm a little harsh. I acknowledge that. But that's only when you're not pulling your weight. Because if we have brought you on board and we're taking care of you to the best of our abilities, and I am fulfilling my side of the agreement. Right now, the pay is really bad as well. It's a couple $100 per month. I'm just being 100% honest. This is what we're doing right now. We're trying to survive. I want to get out of the survival mode. So, so that's what I'm working on. If you ask me for my personal dream, I just want to have a good life, man. I want the same thing as everybody else. I want to spend more time with my family. I haven't dated in so many years. I don't want to get into all those things. I don't want to live with my parents. I don't want to live in my parents' house, right? But I also don't want a desk job. I don't want to do a desk job. I don't even think I can find a desk job anymore because I've been out of that environment for almost 8 years now. And yeah, this is my personal dream. My personal dream is really simple, right? And I'm working every day to make this happen. But I also believe that we have the means, the ability, the capacity, the wealth to enable this dream. And this is not my dream. This is your dream. If you choose to participate, whoever may be watching this, this is the dream for my child. This is my child, by the way. I don't know if I should show my child. Actually, I don't want to show my child's picture. I'll do this on Instagram. Anyways, what I'm saying is this is your dream. This can be your dream. I want to actually take whatever we have and give it to you. And this idea will only take roots, will only blossom if we have the creative energy of individuals applied to it from all of the different parts of the world. And I truly, truly want this to be a global endeavor. And obviously, we're going to follow Canadian laws and American laws. But if you happen to be from a particular part of the world and you are in a free part of the world, we'll make it happen. Obviously, provided you passed all the background checks and everything. But I truly want our company to be radically inclusive because what companies generally do, I'm not going to get into the criticism side of things. Things like inclusion are usually at the very end of a company policy, and it's something like we have a something inclusive policy, and we do not do this and X Y Z. But let me share you, I don't care where you're from, what your background is. All I care about is if you are a good person and you're willing to work with others and you're willing to respect others, doesn't matter what their backgrounds of different kinds, right? Tolerance, 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 tolerance. You gotta have tolerance to be able to work with individuals who may have values that may not be something that your value system is aligned with. So somebody could be Republican, somebody could be Democratic, somebody could be gay, somebody could be straight, somebody could be transgender, and then the whole obviously, unfortunately, the race thing that we are, which are there's some real issues there. But I don't want to. My personal one-on-one feedback when I'm talking about friends is, I'm like, that's great that you are doing things in the domain of social justice, but don't alienate a whole segment of the population. So to come back to the topic, what I'm saying is inclusion and it, the feedback from the global community is key for this project to succeed. So yeah, I don't think the project will take on or take off if we don't have energy being applied to it from all the different parts of the world. We're also entertaining the possibility of running this on top of a blockchain. In fact, I've made a couple of posts. Once we raise the round, we're gonna. It's more on the healthcare side. The healthcare system definitely needs to run on top of the blockchain. It starts with the core blockchain developer, but I see this blossoming into an entire cluster of teams whereby all of the decisions making even is running on top of the blockchain. And what my vision is that everything that we are earning in terms of revenue from our space-based initiative goes 100% towards enabling a global healthcare policy. This is our vision in a nutshell. So we're working on the websites. These are something we just put together with HTML and CSS. And we want to actually be supported by donations. So we want to, not do that whole, well, 98% of our money is spent on the thing, and 2% is on administrative costs. We want to put everything. We want to build it on top of the blockchain. Maybe Bitcoin is going to be the way we're going to operate. We're going to see because there's that increased transparency, and we want all of our employees to be paid in cryptocurrency, and we want basically the transparency aspect. It's not so much anything else; it's the transparency aspect. Because without transparency, this idea will probably not take off. This is my thinking. I could be wrong. So I don't see this as a criticism of fiat or anything like that. Like I said, we're going to be working with all the governments, but we want to build the transparency aspect is really key, because without trust and transparency, ideas like this cannot take a hold. Uh, Anyways, so now I said I will talk about the actual idea. So the idea in a nutshell is, once we have the temperature going down, the temperature is the way it is because of greenhouse gases they've gone crazy, because you have a 98% concentration of carbon dioxide, and mostly carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, a little bit, trace amounts of water vapor and sulfuric acid in the atmosphere of Venus. So the first thing we need to do is we need to float something in that 55-kilometer range, and it's going to be a terrarium made out of materials that are slightly better than what we have right now, because the sulfuric acid is going to burn through a lot of the glass and whatnot that we have right now. Is going to corrode it. But we want some clever mechanism in the wheel to transfer heat into the construct. We want to float it 55 kilometers up, or maybe dangle it from a tether from orbit, and we want to grow something there. We want to just grow something, whatever it is. I don't care if it's microgreens. Grow something in that range. I believe that the moment that image is being back from Venus, that is going to change a lot of things. That's one image. When it's beamed back to Earth, it is my vision that is going to be that moment, that pivotal moment where something clicks in our collective conscience. That there's a shift. That, okay, well, this was supposedly a dead planet, but now we have, I don't know, alfalfa sprouts going 55 kilometers from the surface. So that is going to be the first milestone. That is the first milestone we are hoping for. We are working towards, not just hoping for. That's the first milestone we are working towards. Eventually, the goal is these images are all Creative Commons based on the search I did. So eventually, the goal is that the temperature on the surface is lower enough for bucky structures to exist. I don't know what that temperature is going to be, right? It depends on the gains we see on the material side of things. It could be, ideally, we want to bring it down from that 1800 Fahrenheit range. I don't know what this amounts to in Celsius. I should know that. We want to bring that down to 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, something in that range. And primarily, my thinking is that this is going to be done. The economics is a big part of it, and I've done some math here on my blog post at stellardreams.github.io. I'll put the link here. Well, when the price point is right, and the AMUs are indeed in the construct, and a sufficient amount of carbon dioxide has indeed been sequestered, and the sulfuric acid problem has been tackled. Then there's the additional problem of um, I think we're going to need some kind of a shielded structure around the entire planet. So I know it sounds crazy, but we are also seeing breakthroughs in virtually every domain that is exponential. We're seeing exponential gains in energy, in finance, in communications, in computation power, in maybe materials, I'm not sure, maybe genetics, I'm not sure. Robotics, our robots are getting really adept and they're getting really, really efficient in dexterity, in the movements, in the non-mechanical side of things with machine learning and deep learning. So there's things are changing, and things are changing, in my opinion, quickly. And I believe that these developments should be nurtured to enable the good dreams. And I want to be as transparent and open about this because, man, I just want to eat healthy food, and I want to live in a good house, and I think from the perspective, if I can enjoy those things, then why can't we do it for everybody else? And why can't we do it in a manner whereby we do it sustainably, so that our rainforests are protected, our oceans are healing, our air is healing, the insects are thriving, insect community. I like them. Anyone who knows me knows I love insects. Um, some of them can be a little scary, but I love insects. Uh, I believe life is generally benign. You know, uh, I've held wasps in my hand, and okay, I got stung one or two times, but they're beautiful creatures, and ants. Well, I love insects. So, but so yeah, that's the world I want to help create. I want life to thrive. Right now, I think we're creating technology in a non-conscious manner, and we solve one problem, but it just creates problems downstream. Like we put windmills, but it starts killing insects and bats. Um, we gotta think about these problems. When phosphine was found in Venus, I actually got a little sad because I truly believe that that terraforming Venus is going to be a big part of enabling sustainability on our planet. Uh, Venus, Mars, and O'Neill structures. Uh, and within a finite amount of time, it is my understanding that we will have a network, not unlike the interstates network that President Eisenhower introduced. I have the Eisenhower book here, um, which was built in successive stages. So I think the preliminary work was done somewhere around the 1300, 1930s, and then President Eisenhower in and around, I think it was 50s, if not 60s, then, or maybe it was earlier. Yeah, I'm not sure about the other time frame. I could be wrong about both of them. But basically, the interstate system in the United States was built in two major stages, and there was a gap in between. But for the infrastructure for the inner solar system, I think the timing is right. I think this is the big area that we should invest in, and I believe, and I want to be challenged here. I believe that opening up the inner solar system is, I believe, absolutely necessary in order to ensure our survival. The quality of life comes next. I believe that a lot of the stresses that our systems are facing on Earth, there's a list here: the ocean, the state of the oceans, uh, what's going on with the rainforest, because of our agricultural I guess, needs. Uh, what's going to happen to the rivers? We don't know with the climate change. I was looking at this yesterday. The World Bank put out a report that the glaciers may be melting faster, and there's 750 million people that are directly reliant on the glaciers in the South Asian region, in Himalayas in particular, because the black suit is dropping on the glaciers, and we have a reduction in the bee population. We have a reduction in insect population, which doesn't seem like is very well measured outside of the United States. Not measured at all. It seems like only a handful of countries or institutions are doing it in the Western world. Uh, so lots of biodiversity. So there's a big list of problems, and this is why I say going to space is pivotal to ensure our survival. And I don't want to get into a longer debate, but I want to come back to what I was talking about. I believe we are really good people, and I believe we're honest, and I believe we are we're doing all the right things. We wake up and we do the work. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So we prepare every day. This is what I get my boys and girls, or gender neutral context, my team, to focus on every day. I'm like, if you want to do research, I respect that, but you also got to make something. I encourage them to make something, to take pride, to take ownership of what they're building. And I gotta give credit where it's due. Lucid, man, you're phenomenal. You're a phenomenal engineer. I'm so lucky to work with you. Right? We're gonna change this reality. We're gonna get you on a really, really amazing, well, adequate uh, pay rate. Okay, this is my personal commitment. I don't promise anything, but this is my start. I wanna ask for help. So I'm putting this out there, and I'm asking for help because that's a sign of strength. Okay, this is all Lucid work, right? Lucid, man, I just like I just like where's what Lucid gonna create within the next 10 years is my thought. You know what I mean? What is he gonna wow us with? What is Zornak gonna create in the next 10 years? What is Enda gonna create in the next 10 years? Right? How many hospitals are they going to help enable, or how many virtual hospitals at that? I don't know how our system is actually going to evolve. We have some ideas, but you know what? And how is Anila, who we're talking to, how is she going to step up? Right? She has to manage family and work. So obviously the team's here to support you. So yes, I can be a little harsh sometimes, but my I truly believe in my team, right? And so far, no one on my team, knock on wood, I've been very lucky, has given me any like it's just been a lot of positivity, and I'm really truly grateful for my team. And my team came together very organically, and I have some folks that I've been obviously known for my life, so I want to bring them on board as well. And this is their future. This is our future, man. And so yeah, we want to put that terrarium there. We want to create the Bucky structures. There are other ideas too. I'm not telling everyone are my ideas, um, but yeah, I don't want to. I don't. I want to change this. I want to change this. I don't want to eat bad food. Okay, I don't want to eat nasty food. I don't want to have to make tough choices every day. Is this recording? Yeah, it's recording. I don't want to make tough choices. I want to live in a good house. I want my team to live in a good house. We need help. We need funding. We need to see funding. We also need. Well, I guess Pitbull said this: ask for money, get advice. Ask for advice, you get money twice. So we are very open to feedback. So we want somebody to take a look at our work, review the work we've done so far, book meetings with us within reason. We're going to verify your background, and we'll see uh, if what we can share with you. But what I shared with you is what we've done in the past couple of months, and we want to help. We want to leave this world better than we found it. And I personally am trying my absolute best to lead with my examples. I do this every day. This is my record. I don't know why I'm just born this way. If I go out, I see trash, I pick it up, right? After coronavirus, I don't do it as much. But I can sit here and complain that it's like this and like that. Sure, there's more trash, there's more people living in the city. But what am I doing, right? How many campaigns have I enabled for collectively, right? How am I changing myself? That's my main goal in life: change myself, my family, and then leave the world better than I found it. I don't know how many years I have left, right? So there's all this new research. They're saying 130 is the new 80. You know, we may have indefinite life extension. We may be able to reverse aging, but that is all great. I'm all for that, by the way. I want to go explore the galaxy, meet aliens. Some people make fun of me when I say that, but time will tell. Uh, I guess the more recent release of these unknown phenomena, I think it should be called phenomena that is yet to be identified. This is going on a different tangent right now. But I personally believe there are intelligent species in this galaxy, not in the universe. Universe for sure. In this galaxy, I think there are hundreds of thousands, if not tens of millions, of intelligent species in this galaxy. Not just life, intelligent species. Definitely on the same computational ability, however our brain computes stuff or however this consciousness works. I think that there's tens of millions of species on the same scale that as us. And I have no idea how the Fermi paradox kicks in with all of this life teeming in the galaxy. I don't know. Maybe we all evolved roughly about the same time. I don't know the specifics. But, with 100 billion stars in the galaxy, I think there's a very high probability that there's intelligent life in this galaxy. Okay, maybe not in the tens of millions, but it's not a couple of dozen. It's. I think the number is higher than that because 100 billion is a big number, right? And so that's my personal vision. Uh, but to come back to Earth, I just want to live in a good world, man. I want to live in a good world. I want to leave it better than we found it. And I believe that we have everything to make a beautiful world happen. And however the governance is going to be structured, I think there's going to be many ways. Like Jack Ma would say, that there's room for uh, many different ways of doing things. So we need to be tolerant and respectful of others and how things are done. Sometimes it goes contrary to our values. When I hear of uh, well, Malala, I don't want to go on the political side of things. Malala recently said, made some comments about, I don't know her personally, but about her views on marriage and why it's necessary or not. On the contrary, and she's been getting a lot of hate, for lack of a better word. So that kind of stuff we should not tolerate in the world. So you know, and I want to live in a world where you are free, where you have the choices to live your life as you deem fit. And I want to live in a world where people are not making other people afraid. Fear should not be a way to force somebody to uh, change, and it's in the domain of oppression. And this is not a good way, right? And I want to live in a good world, and I want to start with ourselves, right? So this is why, like, if I just a lot of my activities are focused on changing myself. So in terms of 100% honesty, nobody's perfect. I've also made mistakes, definitely made mistakes in the past. But right now, my ask is simple. This is my wider approach to get the message out there that I and my team need assistance and we need guidance, we need mentorship. Uh, we, we need a lot of energy. We need a lot of positive energy to make this dream come true. I hope you will join me on this journey because this is going to be a fantastic journey. We're going to enable a world of abundance for ourselves, for all the other folks on this planet, definitely for our children. and it's going to be an amazing world. There's going to be clean energy. There's going to be security around the world. There's going to be a global interconnected world. There's going to be healthcare. There's going to be eradication of a lot of diseases, and there's going to be pool parties. uh, we're going to build, we're going to create a world of abundance so people can invest in uh, civic institutions, and you have material abundance sustainably at that. So yeah, that people can enjoy life. Life should not be about struggling unnecessarily, trying to figure out how you're going to make the next dollar. Um, there's a lot of suffering. Things are getting progressively better on our planet, as the data suggests. Absolutely. I've done the math. I've spent an entire summer, going back 5 years, just looking at this phenomenon, and happy to have this discussion with anyone offline or however you want it. Well, I mean, like COVID world, so everything's online, but like off this platform right now. And that being said, there's still a lot of humans that need assistance, uh, and I believe it's our duty to change our lives, improve our lives, help improve the lives of our teammates, not necessarily in this order. If our lives are going to improve, we're going to be better parents. And you don't want to do this alone. So that's why I say team. So we build together, and we increase our standard of we get out of the survival mode, we increase our standard of living, and then we lift others up. But I don't think a point of time arrives when you can do something like that. That's something you can do on a daily basis. So one thing I can absolutely say is I do everything in my capacity to build my team up. I've never shied away from this. If my team wants to, if somebody in my team wants to talk, share things for 5 hours, for the next 5 hours, I am there. I've never shied away from this within reason. Unless you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're not doing the actions. I do everything in my capacity to enable the right framework for my team. And I want my actions to be the judge of that. The thing I don't tolerate is if you don't pull your weight. I do everything in my capacity, but you're not doing your basic tasks. The basic agreement that we have, you're not pulling your weight. 6 months have passed. So things like that I take very seriously. But right now, to come back to the topic, I need help. And this is my way of asking for help. Please reach out to me some way to give me advice, to share resources with us, and to help make these dreams come true. That's it. I want the future to be a wonderful time. I want to have laughter sessions. I want to work with Yogi Ramesh. Shout out to Yogi Ramesh. I gotta call Yogi Ramesh. I don't know him personally. We wanted to have a lot of laughter, a lot of cheer, a lot of help, not necessarily in that order. Quality abundance, so that individuals are spending their time on the things they love doing. And nobody should be dictating what that is. If you wanna, I'm an atheist, but I have nothing against religion. I really don't think so, right? Certain practices, they seem like, but I don't think you can force anyone to change. And I don't do this as a broad brushstroke, and I'm not. But what I'm saying is, somebody wants to focus on, the religious side of things, build up a temple or another institution, then they absolutely have a right to invest their free time doing that. And if somebody wants to terraform other planets, right? I believe we all have that choice, and I believe that the middle class, enablement of the middle class, is pivotal towards sustaining civilization, because there's a couple of key pieces. I'm not an expert in this area, but one of them is basic research, and basic research can only be supported when there's a big subset of the population, a large subset of the population, whereby the standard of living is really high. And because ideas come from a place where people are not in survival mode and they have the time to engage in leisurely activities, and obviously all the other things are met on the Maslow's hierarchy of need, your food, healthcare, security. Those things are met, so that now you're living in good surroundings, you're getting good stimuli in your system, in your psyche, and that's, I think, is a big part of uh, enabling the uh, cycles of prosperity. Uh, the scientific advancement primarily rests upon the collective, distributed effort of a lot of scientists. So that's what we categorize as basic use. I've looked into this. I've spent, like, I would say, at least 25, 30 hours looking at this phenomenon. So I can share, like, what I know over the years. But the cycles of basic research will only work when there is a global middle class that is thriving. And uh, yeah, I don't want to go off topic. I think COVID has put a little bit of dent in that. And now the carbon aspect, I don't see that as a threat towards growing our like the collective middle class. I see that as an opportunity. And I'm not going to talk about clean tech right now, but I'm seeing some very promising updates in that domain. And right now, to come back to the topic, I need help. I need the help to grow my team. And if you're watching this, you're a wonderful person. You stuck with me for almost an hour. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you watching this, because right now we need support. And you just watching this is, uh, thank you so much. And I'm open to feedback, and I'm available for a connection, or sorry, a phone call, or a meeting. I prefer specificity. It sounds a little contradict, like it sounds, what's the word? I spoke for 1 hour, but I'm like asking for specificity. Uh, I don't like wasting time. I definitely don't like wasting the time of others. So the more specific the ask is, the more prepared I can show up for that meeting, is what I mean. I believe I'm a good salesperson. I'm an honest salesperson. I learned this from Brian Tracy, right? So talking about a lot of things here, but the thing is, man, I don't care what people think. This is who I am. This is my honest opinions and my dreams, and I'm just putting everything out there, because asking for help is a healthy thing, and I'm asking for help. Earlier today we had a setback, but setbacks are fine. That's part of life. We're preparing. I don't want to even mention that, because I don't want to talk about that. But I believe I dealt with that setback very healthy. I just stopped and I went for a run, and I exercised, and I came back and I said, you know what, the thing I need to do is this, and that's what I'm doing. So whoever is out there watching this, please, please think about joining our team. Ask questions, volunteer your time, volunteer your time. Make this your own company. Provide your ideas, provide the guidance, provide tips, recommendations. Let's put the structure in place. Let's get a legal setup going on the so we can have contractual agreements, uh, just step by step, right? And the vision will only come true if we take action. So take action. If you watch this video for 1 hour plus, and if I was able to, even like maybe a very tiny seed, if I was able to plant a very tiny seed in your mind that this is possible, what I'm sharing with you, you should definitely reach out to me. On the other hand, if you have doubts about what I'm sharing, but you're willing to change your mind if I present the evidence to you, then you should also reach out to me. If you, I'm sorry to say, are absolutely convinced that everything I shared, the vision I shared in this video, is something that will never happen, then I don't think you should reach out to me. and I don't want you to take that personally. I just don't have time for that. I don't have time to argue unnecessarily. So yeah, so the first individual, the first two category, please reach out to me. Let's make this dream come true. And thank you for watching. I gotta go now, and I gotta email Ryan. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.